Live in the place to be. Most definitely. That's what it says. What up, people? What up? Who's that, mama? Oh, I couldn't see. Man, y'all in here fast. Damn. It's not like Saturday, I guess. They notify you. What's up? Mike Swagger, Summer Breeze, Scotty Saturn, Kimberly Bell, L Dragon Moore. What up? Izar Wanjiru, Almighty Sekou. Some chick named Star. What up? Canadian Kush, Richie Luxury, Adrian Stew, Ramel L, Rico, Butterfly Effects, Killer Nuts, Segment Unk, Prince, Angelo Williams, Aaliyah Bay, Elijah Almekbay. All right, I see you. T's Electric Juices, T's Electric Juices. Dr. Sherm, y'all coming in fast now. Damn. Leo Fire, Alumni, Aries Fire. What up, y'all? What's poppin'? I know it's been a minute. What's going on? Leandro Rezo. What up, yo? DeMarcus Graves. Eli. 3013. Or 30,013, whatever that was. What up? Cashmere Kiss. Dondra Watson. What's poppin', y'all? What's going on? Y'all in the building? Naomi Holloman. What up? Shabazz Visions. What's poppin'? T-Bow 777. Like them sevens. What's happening, everybody? Come on in here. It's been a minute. So we got a lot to go through today, too. And it's hot, so shit. It's 90-something in LA, y'all. Goddamn, it's gonna be 90-something for the next 7-8 days. That sucks. We gonna deal with it. So if y'all hear the fan going on in the background, that's all I got. It's hot as hell in here. But I'm trying to make do. Oops. Sorry, let me try to turn the volume up. All right, who was that? Cause I said so. Feet burning in Georgia? Y'all, well, yeah, it's hot. Yeah, I know. Down south and back east, y'all hot and humid. We in California, we got the dry heat. I know, but it's still hot as hell. I don't want to hear that bullshit. It's hot. Hot is hot, damn it. In California, we don't do over 78. That's how it is. We don't do over 78 in Los Angeles. So it is hot as hell. It's 90-something right now. It's ridiculous. What up? What is the Fudo hello? Well, man, I couldn't read it. But what's up, everybody? What's up, people? So everybody, just want to say real quick, a couple days ago was the Know Your Rights Foundation anniversary. We've been established for a full year, over a year really, but officially a year was 2 days ago. So I want to shout out everybody who supported the Know Your Rights Foundation. We appreciate you guys. I mean, it's bigger than we thought the first year. What up, Tish? My moderator Tish, and also one of the board members and an essential member of the Know Your Rights Foundation. She's the one that helps put all this stuff together. But we've been in existence for a year now, guys, and it's been great. The response has been great. Everybody's been wanting to learn. We're getting a bunch of volunteers every week. So, man, we just want to keep this going. We thank you guys for supporting the Know Your Rights Foundation. And everybody who ordered your package, your card. This right here, this is the vaccine or the vaccine exemption liability card. This is the one you give for employees or independent contractors. This is what you give your boss, letting them know that they're liable, or basically you're exempt from you're exempt from vaccines. However, they're liable if they try to force you to do that. They're liable under penalties for coercion. because this is, you know, again, this is an experimental. This is something experimental, as well as something that the Cat.Dog.Cat, you know, everybody, you know the lingo. The Cat.Dog.Cat has listed the adverse effects of what these things do. And so we have listed everything on here. So you give this to your employer, or if you're an independent contractor, the person who's contracted you out, and this lets them know if they force you to get that, then they're liable for every second that experimental whatever it is, that cupcake remains in your bloodstream. So that means they're fully liable for compensation. They're not gonna want to do that. So this right here, if you ordered it, remember it comes with the notice here. These two things come together, and also it comes with the PF Heiser Bakery report right here. 7 pages of, I think was about 30 some odd pages. Actually, yeah, it's like 40 something pages of the document. We gave you only 7. That's all you need. The first page breaks it. The first couple pages breaks down, it gives you the lingo so that you'll know what you're reading. It lets you know what's going on. But then right in here, it tells you from their trials who kicked the bucket from the trials. 1,223 people kicked the bucket within the first 4 days. That's crazy. They didn't tell nobody that. But it's coming out, and you're starting to see the repercussions of that. We're going to talk about that today. With the Cat.Dog.Cat has changed the whole narrative. We're going to talk about that. But now you see the reason why is because all of this information is starting to come out that they can't hide. So all these come together. All these 3 things come together. If you haven't gotten yours, make sure you get to knowyourrightsfoundation.org if you want to order this. If you ordered it, pre-ordered it, all your orders went out. You should be getting them in the next couple days or so. And also the new, the religious exemption. This right here is this list that there's aborted fetal tissue in the cupcake. So, you know, and that's that is a one of the best grounds for, or the best basis for religious exemption that you can have, especially if you claim religion and you claim that you're pro-life. Then if it has aborted in the cupcake, boom, that's your grounds right there. They can't fight that, as shown in in this new revised religious exemption. So you can get that at knowyourrightsfoundation.org, everybody. And like I said, thank everybody for supporting this whole year. We've been blowing the hell up. We're gonna continue to blow up because it's being shown that you guys need to know your rights, which is great. You guys are starting to see that it's so important for you to know what the hell is going on in this damn matrix that got you under slavery, so that you can free yourselves. But unless you know, you can't free yourself. You can say all this, I'm being suppressed, and white man, white supremacy, and white privilege, and all this and that. But what are you doing to get from under the thumb of these niggas? Are you trying to figure it out, how they built the matrix, so that you can fucking take it apart and refashion it in the way for you? Are you doing that? Or are you just sitting back just complaining with your hand in your shit like Al Bundy, talking about you scored 4 touchdowns in a game once when you was back in high school? I scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Yeah. Anybody who knows Al Bundy, they know that was his claim to fame one time. He scored 4 touchdowns in the game, and he reminded anybody and everybody who would listen that one time in one game in history, he scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Shout out to Al Bundy. He was an Aries too. But but make sure you got to get your knowledge, get your information. And anything else, make sure you get over to knowyourrightsfoundation.org to get the full police stop law package. All right. And then, right here, y'all know, Timmy Tight Top, weed juice. But you see how this is dripping? It's hot as hell in here. You see this is dripping? I'm about to tell it, boy. I may be taking a few breaks. Give a shout out to Timmy Tight Top. Go to weedjuice.com. This is surprisingly sweet. You see how good this look? It tastes as good, tastes even better. So hit Timmy Tight Top up right now. His website was down for a little while, so the orders went down because people the orders weren't able to go through because something was malfunctioning with the website. But his website is back up. Everybody ready to send y'all out your juices. If you want to get healthy, get the weight loss plan. Everything that you want to get is on there with the weed juice. Weedjuice.com. OUIjuice.com. Shout out to Timmy Tight Top. And we're gonna do a noggin nerds real soon, Timmy Top. As soon as you get your hair thing together, my nigga. I'm just fucking with you. But shout out to Timmy Tight Top. So, all right, everybody. Man. Oh, and everybody for the muscle oil. Little Goddess. So Little Goddess, it was Little Goddess. Man, man, I forgot the website. Somebody, damn it, man. I'm Little Goddess. I'll remember by the end. I promise. I'll remember by the end of this. But it's the oils. Little Goddess. Oh, hold on. Let me go in there. I'll remember it right now. I'm sorry, Little Goddess. I think it's aroma. It's not aroma there. I'm sorry, Little Goddess. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I forgot the website again. You can go back. I did mention it on the last live stream. So if you want to, if I don't remember to put Little Goddesses, the bomb ass muscle oil. If you got any aches or pains, whatever her formula is, it alleviates the aches and pains. Little Goddesses oil I did put the website on the last live stream. So if I forget to do it and look it up, because I have it somewhere in here. If I forget, please go to the last live stream and look up the oil. And if you do remember, please put it in the chat. If any of the moderators or anybody remembers from the last live stream, because that oil works, it's off the chain. Appreciate you, Little Goddess. All right, y'all. So the Cat.Dog.Cat. If you saw in the, that's how we have to word it in the title. So any new people, when you see the Cat.Dog.Cat, just take the first letters from each word and then put that together, and you have who we talking about. Right? So they just came out and basically said, sorry guys, our bad. Oh, damn. Oh shit, we kind of fucked up. Did anybody get hurt? Oh shit. Oh damn, all y'all niggas is dead. Oh man, sorry. Holy shit, we're sorry guys. We're gonna change everything. We're just gonna change everything. We're gonna be better. We're gonna be better in the future for all of you. Forget everything that just happened. From this point on, we're gonna be great for you guys. We're gonna change the whole website. You're gonna be able to get in contact with us. If you're feeling any adverse effect, we're gonna just change everything for you guys. We're sorry, people. We're fucking sorry. Get the. How many motherfuckers have died? Kick the bucket. Cause you niggas have told niggas, go wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. the cupcake. If you eat the cupcake, you won't be able to get sick no more. Oh, my bad. Well, if you take the cupcake, you'll get sick, but you won't die. I'm sorry. You may take it, get sick, and die, but it won't be a painful death. How about that? It ain't gonna be painful. Like, nigga, what the? You're starting to see the whole shit change because there are so many activists coming out right now against what's going on. They have created more. People against the government than any time before. I mean, you have got investigators from people who was sitting around the house with nothing to do. They had no purpose to their life whatsoever. They was just chilling, living an everyday, regular life. These niggas came and ripped their whole shit apart, and now their whole purpose now on this planet now is to take down and destroy the government for what the fuck they did during this Plandemia, right? So now it's all starting to come out. Fauci's like, oh shit. Hey nigga, I'm out, baby. Hey, y'all deal with that, nigga. Hey, I'm gone. Fauci stage left. Like, nigga, I am out of here. Wait a minute, Fauci, where you going, nigga? You said the cupcakes was better than natural immunity? Didn't you say that, nigga? When we got you on tape 20 years ago saying that natural immunity is the greatest thing that you can ever have. But then right now Not now. This new thing, this new experimental quinoa tofu cupcake that we done created in the lab, this brand new cupcake, is gonna be better than your immunity, nigga. If you eat this, you ain't gonna never be hungry again. I promise you, nigga. It's a time release cupcake. Every time you get hungry, it's gonna release food into your stomach. Who was that? Steve, appreciate you. Thank you, man. You seen Willy Wonka? Nigga, we got one of them. A time release gobstopper cupcake. Shout out to Willy Wonka. But if y'all know what that is, the gobstopper. That was the food thing that they ate, the thing that they ate, and it was like a 7-course meal. And if they kept sucking on it, each meal was time released. So basically, that's what they kind of told. That's what Fauci was kind of telling you. The cupcake is better than your natural immunity. Your natural immunity ain't shit. Then it comes out, oh, it is? Oh, hey, what? Hey, my bad. Sorry, guys. This nigga's out, y'all. Fauci's out. Then you starting to see, I'm telling you, everything is starting to flip. This could have been a major part of their plan. They forced your boy, the orange orangutan, the orangutan Avenger. They forced that nigga to push it into play, right? He pushed the cupcake into play. So much so that he brag about it. You know, we pushed it out, we forced it, we did it, we were pressured the FDA. Now, this is the thing. He didn't want to release it at first. When it first came out, he did not want to pressure and release. He didn't want to lock down nothing. Excuse me. He didn't want to lock down anything. He didn't really want to push that. They forced him. They were like, yo, you going down in the polls. People saying you're not trying to take care of America. So he was like, oh shit, well let me act like I'm doing some shit. So the administration pushed to get the cupcake out, right? So he goes, 9 months. We've been 9 months, faster than any other 9 months. So he's bragging about this shit, right? Dumbass, they got your ass on tape bragging about how you forced this shit. So Fauci is like, hey, see you guys. he just eases on out the frame. Then all of these things keep coming back. All of these adverse effects keep popping up. And then they got to have somebody to blame. Who they going to blame? Fauci out the door. Peace out, bitches. Niggas like, salam alaikum, niggas. So, who they gonna blame? They can't blame the Cat.Dog.Cat chick, because she was just implemented after Biden got into office. They can't blame her. Well, they can, but who you think they gonna blame? Who pushed it into play? Your boy Trump. He is the scapegoat. This is how this shit about to play out. Your boy Trump Pizzle is the scapegoat for all of this. They working it right now. They did it. They even did it on Fox News. What's your boy? Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was on there talking about how Trump forced this and pushed it out early. So if that's the narrative on Fox News, you know that's about to go all the way around. That this nigga, they are playing this shit out. Then you see on YouTube, this is how you know the shit is really going down. On YouTube, because this is one thing. Y'all heard that Zuckerberg said on Joe Rogan that in reality it once was Gates about to be outed by Epstein. Yep. So yeah, Gates was about to be outed by Epstein. So this is the thing. So you heard what Zuckerberg said on Joe Rogan, that he confirmed basically what we all knew, that the social media companies is being run by the government. So he said the FBI came to him and was like, "Yo, watch out for this. We don't want another mishap of the election in 2016." So you need to watch out for misinformation here. But that's not what happened. He just said that's what happened. They've been working with the FBI and the government for the last 10, 15 years probably. So is Twitter. Twitter is a major tool for them niggas. That's why Twitter's getting ready to get destroyed right now, because they're a bot farm that's being used for public control. Any way they want the public narrative to swing, they use a giant bot farm. And these bot farms are people. If you ever seen these bot farms, and they're not really bots, they're troll farms and things like that. So there'll be a giant warehouse of people in a warehouse at a table, and so they'd be like, so it's just like a circular table or a square table, and it's a bunch of people that are at the table. Each one of them have a computer in front of them and about 5 iPhones or Android phones connected to each one, and they're each going back and forth, and they're typing, they're texting, they're typing text, boom, boom, boom. That's how this shit is. These are actual people, what they call bot farms, but these are actual people in these warehouses, troll farms, that are actually doing this shit. They showed it. So now Twitter has been using that. Who are they using it for? Who are they controlling the narrative for? That's getting ready to come out. So Zuckerberg said all of that shit. Now, YouTube comes and changes their policy. Now you can say, I'm still not gonna say it, so I'm still gonna be coding my shit up. But YouTube said, now you can say that the cupcake doesn't prevent you from getting the boogie V. Before, they was wiping niggas out for that. And now you can say that masks don't prevent the boogie V or the spread of it. But they done locked all these people down, told you to mask up. You couldn't go nowhere without a mask. You had to, you can't see your family. You can't do none of this. Boop, 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 boop. Now all of a sudden, sorry. Sorry guys. Oh shit. My bad. That's all they saying is my bad, boy. Get your bitch ass out of here. So that's the narrative that's popping off right now. Everything is changing. But then on the low, what they're still doing is implementing mandates. So again, on the surface, they have to act like, oh, we're changing it because all of these pressures is coming back on. Y'all should see, again, if you haven't been to those Telegram channels, I'm sorry. I can't put the links in here every day, all the time. I told you the names of those. Moderators, if you have the links to the Telegram channels, the Real World News, COV, Crack Scene, Injuries UK, and the Phoenix Rises. Those are the three channels that most of the information comes out the most. So, so the information has been going crazy. Those doctors, there's so many doctors and lawyers that are implementing these lawsuits against the government right now. They have to do something. They can't sit around and just act like these lawsuits ain't popping off. They can't do that because lawsuits are real. See, y'all see, you can, all this marching in the street and all that shit all the time. Yeah, that's bullshit. They can act like that is doing nothing. When you start implementing lawsuits, paperwork into the goddamn court, your ass got to move or you gonna be in default if you don't answer. That's what happened to Alex Jones, which is why he had to pay, because he defaulted on submitting information that he needed to submit to the court by a certain date. Because he didn't do it, he was in default, and they awarded the judgment to the plaintiff. It wasn't that he was ruled that he was liable for what he said. So court is real. What I'm trying to tell y'all, law and court is real, y'all. And these Caucasians are mashing on these niggas with these lawsuits, and they can't act like nothing is happening. So Fauci don't want to be investigated by the new Republican government that's coming in. So he's like, nigga, deuces, nigga. Deuces. And they're still gonna investigate the nigga, but he don't want to be nowhere. He don't want to be federally connected. Like if he's still in office when they do it, they could really get at him much harder than if he's a civilian and they try to investigate him. If he's a public official and they investigate him, they could really fuck him up. So if he quits and he becomes civilian, then the investigation will take much longer. It's gonna take way longer, and then it's gonna the penalties are not gonna be as bad trying to come. Well, he has much more protection as a private person than he does as a public official. So that's what's happening there. And then while that's going on, Modern Easy is suing the P.F. Heiser Bakery. Y'all heard about that? Modern Easy is suing the P.F. Heiser Bakery for patent infringement. Now, they saying they infringed on the patent that they had been developing for years. How are you developing this technology for years if the Pandeezy only just happened at the end of 2019, 2020, and just popped in? So how are you working on this for years? See, they fucking up in their damn lawsuit by letting everybody know, oh shit, we've been doing this. We had this all planned years ago. So again, what that is, remember when I told you about the lawsuit that came out in 2013 that says if any artificial or what they call artificial mRNA, if it changes DNA, that DNA is now called cDNA, and it's patentable. Remember that. So any synthetic mRNA that changes DNA, this is in a lawsuit that came out in 2013. They ruled that the synthetic DNA that's produced, called cDNA, is patentable. Now, if I'm trying to patent niggas, if I'm trying to create some shit to patent a whole bunch of niggas, and you stole my invention to patent niggas, then who gonna control the people eventually when the shit go down? Wait a minute, nigga, I got control. No, nigga, I got control. Wait, what you mean, nigga? No, wait. Wait a minute, nigga. I got the remote control. Nigga, I got the remote control. Nigga. These niggas is fighting over the remote control over your motherfucking ass. When they motherfucking push the button in your ass, they push a button, they push another button, nigga, they gonna be controlling your ass, nigga, from up on a mountain somewhere. Hey, Todd, come here, Todd. Just watch him make the motherfucker. And you gonna be doing that, nigga. Watch, Todd, watch. Nigga, you gonna be doing all kind of shit when they press buttons. They gonna be laughing and shit. So they just proved, oh, Rainstorm, thank you. So they just proved, appreciate everybody who hitting that super chat, y'all, for real. Thank you guys. So they just proved that the graphene oxide creates a magnetic field that allows them to link your ass, or to link, excuse me, to link things up to a cloud that has graphene oxide. It allows an electromagnetic field that allows it to be connected to a cloud. Now, just saying. Just saying. Hold on. So that's what they fighting over. They not fighting over who making more money. And then again, on the low, like I said, on the surface, they're trying to act like everything is cool, while on the low, they're implementing these mandates. But people are fighting the mandates. You guys gotta understand, people are fighting this stuff. If you are not one of the people who are fighting, get your ass together. Get some information and get up and start fighting. Because I'm telling you, if Caucasians are the ones that save America from the tyranny of fucking Pharma and the government, nigga, you think they gonna let your ass forget it? Just realistically. If Caucasians are motherfucking the ones doing all of this shit, implementing paperwork and boom, and suing and doing the research and doing all this and saving motherfucking the what they, in their eyes, saving America from the tyranny of big pharma and the corporate government, and they're able to win and do this, you think they're gonna let your ass forget that? Just think about that. You think they're gonna let you forget that? So, and now it's time for you to get in the game though. Time for you, when you're on the sideline, that time is past. You're in a new era now, new age. You have to get up and get in the game. You don't have the luxury of not playing, of not knowing, like the generation before you. It's pertinent. It's the utmost importance right now because they're trying to flip the whole game board. They're trying to flip the game board over, and we need to prevent them from doing that because we just now getting used to this goddamn game. They flipped the game board over. We got to start all over from scratch. Shit. So, again, and then they tried to implement mandates in D.C. for schools and workers, public workers. See, you guys don't understand. Y'all don't even know. I don't know if y'all knew. A lot of people thought that the mandates in D.C. were coming just for the children going back to school, but it wasn't. It was for workers, public workers. So anybody who was who worked, a public worker, they had to get the cupcake, right? So the federal judge, they put a hold on that, and so with that, when the federal judge ruled against that, that's when the school district said, all right, well, we can see the writing on the wall. That if the parent, because the parents already had implemented lawsuits against the school district for the mandates. So they already saw that the lawsuit had won for the public workers. And so you can't prove that these cupcakes improve any health, they have any health benefit for the children. Brandon Terry, thank you. Appreciate you, man. You can't prove that these cupcakes have any health benefit for the kids. So there is no basis for you forcing them on the children. So they saw that coming. They were like, oh shit. So they took down the mandates on their own after the federal judge ruled against the city, against the workers, against the public workers. Now, that don't mean that they stopped. They said they put it on a hold. So you got to understand the reason they're doing this is because Big Pharma, first of all, the government has created not policies, but programs for the states and district and counties to implement these mandates. They're paying them. Y'all understand? They are paying these niggas. So it doesn't matter if on the surface these public agencies are saying, oh, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that, we don't have to do that, we don't have to do that. These policies or these programs are still in play. That doesn't do away with the program. So, if we're getting paid as a school district or, as a county, if we're getting paid to implement these programs, we're getting paid for this, and and on the surface, they're saying that, oh, these things they have more benefit than good, then that's what's happening. They're implementing them because they're getting paid to do it. And also, why? Because Big Pharma got millions and billions of stock of this shit that they planned that they were supposed to get off, but this shit didn't go like they thought it was going to go. A gang of people didn't die like they thought was supposed to pop off. And then people started to get more and more informed and then said, fuck it, we not taking this shit. So they weren't able to condition people to get this shit like they thought they were going to do. So they got a stockpile of shit. Like Modernese nigga, he said, we got 30 million doses of this shit and we can't get rid of it. We can't get rid of the shit. What we gonna do? And then the P.F. Heiser Bakery stole their ingredients, stole their cupcake ingredients. So then, on top of all that, the FITA, they approved another cupcake. Did y'all know that? They just approved another cupcake. That's what I'm saying. So on the surface, the Cat.Dog.Cat is like, sorry guys, we're bad. We made mistakes. Please forgive us. Blah, 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 this and that. While FITA, FDA and all that, they're still approving shit on the low. Another cupcake was just approved a couple days ago. Another one. Pretty much with no trial, that it only worked on mice. No human trials. It only worked on mice. And they were like, mice? People? Same thing. Give it a go. So that's what's popping off right there. Then they also said that the Boost Mobile don't work. The Cat.Dog.Cat said that, you know, it doesn't, the original cupcake doesn't prevent anything, as well as the Boost Mobiles that they constantly make you get, they don't work. So they're admitting on the surface that it don't work, while on the low still implementing these mandates or trying to get them implemented, which is why you need to protect yourself. If you don't say anything, it's called acquiescence or tacit consent. These are things in law that you need to understand. Acquiescence means when somebody does something and I don't say nothing, then that means acceptance by not doing anything. So tacit consent means the same thing. Meaning if I start patting you, if I come up to you and I start patting you down and going in your pockets and pulling everything out, and you don't say nothing, then how the fuck do I know that you didn't want me to do it? That's the law. That's what's called tacit consent. And there's something called tacit consent, express consent, meaning I need to specifically say it, or like meaning I consent. Yeah, when a police officer asks you, "Can I search your car?" You said, "Do you consent to me searching your car?" Yes, that's called express consent. But if a police officer just starts searching your shit and you don't say nothing, that's called tacit consent. Meaning you didn't say nothing when you started looking through your shit. If you felt bad, if you didn't want to look through your shit, you should have said, "Hey, nigga, don't look, get your bitch ass off my trunk." But you didn't say it. That's called tacit consent. So same thing. That's what's going on. That's you know, when they're implementing these laws and these mandates on y'all, if you while they're doing it, if you don't say anything, because remember they're getting paid by the government to do it. So where they can win, they will win. If that's your district, if that's your state, they're gonna win there. If you ain't aware, or if the people who are against this shit are challenging it are not aware enough to get it stopped. That's only in DC that this happened. Is it? What about your state? Are they implementing mandates in your state? I promise you, they're trying to get that shit done. Unless you probably in a Republican or red state, but for the most part, they're doing that shit. And so then, then they're trying to scare you more, talking about the first monkey P death, right? The first death, and they said associated with the monkey P. See, listen to the terms they use, y'all. The first death associated with monkey P. That don't mean it was monkey P. That just means this person died and they said he had monkey P, but that don't mean he died of monkey P. So this is where the scare starts coming in. The same thing when people start kicking the bucket at the beginning of the Plan Deezy. Oh, they kicked the bucket with they kicked the bucket with Cove, you know, with the COV. So it's wordplay, and they will smash on you with it all day if you don't know how to play the wordplay game or decipher through the wordplay game. So their whole plan is breaking down, even in China. See, a lot of things are going on. This is how the universe balances shit out, you guys. Universe is great. Universe will balance things out. So they created this whole Plan Deezy, right? America and China were linked up at some point to do this on some levels, right? Allegedly. We're gonna say allegedly because we know how they can change up the damn rules any damn time. But allegedly. So and then China has this big plan, but so they linked up to do this, but really on the low, China and United States are still fighting to become on who's going to be the superpower. China trying to become the next big superpower, while United States is still trying to maintain their supremacy, right? So when this thing was released, if you see the way China reacted over there, China looks like it was something that was released specifically to take them down, because China is going crazy right now. I don't know if y'all, with the lockdowns, have y'all seen China? China look like a goddamn concentration camp. It's insane. Everywhere you go is barbed wire and fences and shit. Everybody walking around in hazmat suits. It's fucking insane. People got to get tested multiple times a day, even in the rain. Like if it was a storm, these niggas was out in the storm with umbrellas and shit getting blown all over the place in line just to get tested to see if they was negative. And they call it it's a zero boogie V policy they got in China, right? They saying we're not going to tolerate any of it, which means they think it's probably a bioweapon against them. If they don't want anything, they don't want any. Now, a part of it is also control. This the government implementing control over the citizens, trying to implement a new system, taking away the money, implementing a credit system, and all this and that type of shit too. But the way they're doing it, they're creating it's looking crazy over there. But this is how the universe balances shit out, because with their society becoming unstable like that, China is not the superpower that everybody is making them out to be. You're only as strong as your foundation, which is your people. Your period. A government is only as strong as its foundation, which is its people. That's it. And when these niggas start crumbling and mentally falling and breaking down, then your society will break down. So China was trying to, and this is their karma too, because China done fucked up so many governments over the goddamn history of time, then went in there and been stealing shit and all that. So this is China's karma coming back on them, but it's also America's karma coming back, because they've disrupted and destabilized fucking people in government for so goddamn many years. So all of this is karma coming back on these two goddamn governments right now. So they're trying to, again, so don't take the monkey pee bullshit, because again, the guidelines that they implemented from the Cat.Dog.Cat. Oh, is that Brandon Terry? Again, appreciate you. So the guidelines that they implemented were basically for the the alphabet soup. So this don't apply to no people who ain't in that community, which is 90%, 80 to 90% of the people in the world. But they're scaring you, saying that the monkey pee death, now, oh shit, this shit is ramping up. So again, don't get caught by the bullshit. Then the zombie apocalypse. Remember I talked about this last week about the excuse me, about the virus that they embedded, the V that was embedded into the cupcake, and that would be released when the nickel G hit 18 gigahertz pulses, three pulses of 18 gigahertz, spaced, I think 1 second or 1 second in between each pulse, or 1 minute or 1 second. I forgot which one. I think it's 1 second actually. 3 pulses split by 1 second at 18 gigahertz, which is funny that 18 equals 999, which is why is it 18 gigahertz? But it releases some of these nanoparticles, lipid nanoparticles that are in the fat cells, right? That are supposed to release certain things. I talked about. Now, this is what it's called. I didn't have the exact thing when I talked about it last week. So the gene is that excuse me, the gene that the cupcake affects is called the 1p36 gene. I'm gonna say this again. The gene is called the 1p as in Paul 36 gene. I want y'all to go look that up. Go Google that. So it's 700 people in here. Y'all better hit that goddamn like button. Don't be just sitting in here motherfucking ear hustling. Y'all better hit the goddamn like button, y'all ear hustling ass niggas. Well, what he saying now? I can take back and go tell my niggas and shit. Nigga, hit the damn like button. So, this is how the algorithm works. You gotta hit the like button. Stop playing. So, it's called the IP36 gene. And it's called IP36 gene deletion. That's what this thing is called. Now, whenever the time release, whenever they hit that boop and it's released, this is what it does. This is what IP3 gene deletion is called. IP36 gene deletion syndrome is a congenital disease that's usually a birth defect, right? But now it's a side effect of the cupcake. So this thing is with this IP36 gene deletion syndrome is a side effect of the quinoa tofu cupcakes that the P.F. Heiser bakery is making. So what does it do? So basically, what does it control? The IP36 gene controls the frontal cortex. So basically, if you have this disease, it basically your frontal cortex shrinks or atrophies. It gets smaller. Basically, makes your brain gets smaller. It makes your brain smaller, right? All right, zombie apocalypse, right? You dumb brain small. So basically, what does it do? What does IP36 deletion syndrome do? Now, this is straight from the medical journal. This is straight from the medical journal. This is what this does. IP36 gene deletion syndrome is a disorder that typically causes severe intellectual disability. I'll read that again. IP36 gene deletion syndrome is a disorder that typically causes severe intellectual disability, meaning make your ass stupid as fuck. That's what it means. Make you as dumb as hell. Right? Then, most affected individuals do not speak or speak only a few words. They may have temper tantrums, bite themselves or others. Like, nigga, you look pretty tasty today, my nigga. And I mean like a hot wing. You gonna start looking like hot wings to a lot of niggas, y'all. Just saying. So again, I'll go over that again. Most affected individuals do not speak or speak only a few words. They may have temper tantrums, bite themselves or other people, or exhibit other behavior problems. Most have structural abnormalities of the brain, and seizures occur in more than half of individuals with this disorder. Affected individuals usually have weak muscle tone, which is called hypotonia, hypotonia, and swallowing difficulties, which is called dysphagia. So that's what IP36 gene deletion does, which is a side effect, has been documented, is a side effect of the quinoa tofu brand new experimental cupcakes. Yummy. So basically, gonna turn your ass into a dumb-ass, retarded zombie biting niggas. Rageful zombie biting niggas. Yep. That's what that shit does. So when we talk about the zombie apocalypse, that's what we talking about. That's a real thing. So when it's a funny thing when you talk about it, and it's not really something that you can really touch on. It's more philosophical or ideal and shit. But then when you can actually break this shit down to see how they're gonna do it, IP36 gene deletion syndrome, and I just read off the goddamn the side effects, make you bite yourself and others, temper tantrums. You become stupid, nigga. Yeah. Y'all think this shit ain't popping off? for sure. And then, well, all that's going on. That's the one part of the Plan DZ, the WEF. You know, this is all the Great Reset plan by the WEF. This is all in stages. You guys understand this is compartmentalized. So while they're doing that over there, Biden, you know, they're trying to break you. They're trying to break everybody in the world. Remember, they said you will own nothing and be happy. So they're trying to destroy the world economy. That's why for the lower class, lower and middle class. This is why during the Pandeezy, you could go to Walmart, but not your little mom and pop store. What's the difference? What, the Boogie B was like, oh, nigga, Walmart? Shit, nigga, we been that nigga Walmart is crazy, nigga. As soon as we step, we'll die in Walmart. Mom and pop, nigga, mom and pop stores ain't shit, nigga. We'll go in there and take that whole shit over. You think that's what the Boogie B was saying during the Pandeezy? Walmart? No. Mom and pop? Hey. Fuck. No. Not doing that. But that was their way of taking down the economy. They're still doing it. You guys need to watch out. Biden just sent another $3 billion over to the Ukrainians. So, again, I told you it's money. It's not money. People think it's money laundering, but it's not really money laundering. It is that too, because Biden, you know, allegedly, they got some deals going on over there. But also, they need to keep the dollar afloat. Remember that the petrol dollar, the countries are getting rid of the dollar as the petrol dollar. So they need to keep it afloat in use in the world. Otherwise, it'll crash. So let's just, here you go, you crazy. Who else needs the money? So we got to give everybody money and spread it around to keep all of it from them people who have no use for the American dollar anymore, sending it back to America, which, you know, takes the inflation up. So that's why, again, y'all need to be stocking up on the gold and silver, little pieces, put it together, start stacking. I'm telling you, America has never been hit with the bullshit before. We ain't never been hit with we've been hit at certain times with major things that happen. And each one of those times, the money system changed. Like in 1933, the money system, they crashed. And the banking emergency, it crashed. They called in the gold, or they changed the gold. They changed the money to an administrative government and all this and that. That was a complete overhauling of the government and the money system. Then not a few years, but in the 70s, they did it again. That's when they took away the dollar completely, you know, and then put everybody on Federal Reserve notes that had debted notes, Federal Reserve debt notes, which had no backing whatsoever. So that was the change of the money system. Now that can only last for so long. They have to flip the money system again. So they have to move it to this hybrid paper, digital at first, and probably eventually it'll all move to a digital system eventually. But this is what they're doing right now. So they're flipping the system again. If you go through history and see how they do this, then you got to be prepared. You got to prepare yourself for when this stuff pops off, because those people who didn't, they got fucked majorly when the system flipped. So prepare yourselves. Go out and get your gold and your silver, and just sit on it like an egg, like a mother hen, like a mother hen on an egg. So then, hold on. So then, while that's going on, another part of tearing this whole thing down is the demasculation of men. So you guys have to understand, no disrespect to women, but usually physical revolt is usually started by men, the masculine population of a society. Because we just, you know, especially if you're highly masculine, you just don't take bullshit. You are about making shit happen. You're not about just sitting around and letting shit happen to you. You'll slap the shit out of somebody who try to force something on you. So, you know, in order to quell that type of energy, I have to demasculate the population. This is what that whole alphabet soup, trend is about. I have to take down the population, the masculinity of the population. That's the world, because they're trying to flip the whole world. So you see, this is moving around the world, but to the major. This is really only a thing in the 5 major countries in the world, right? This is a thing. So, but these are the countries that they need to flip. And so, how do they do it? So, they have to get all of the major organizations behind this in order to change the narrative to the world. So you see, they're coming after the children. This is what they call the groom thing, right? This is where they go into the schools and they're allowing these teachers to talk about their sexual orientation in school. Why? Why the hell does a kid need to know that? Whether you straight or you doing the other shit. Why does a child need to know that at all? And again, hashtag straight pride. We're gonna start that movement. Damn it, because we just can't let them get all the goddamn shit. But straight pride, goddamn it. But why does a child need to know any of that? Why does a child need to know any of that? There was a lady on TikTok who was celebrating the fact that she changed a child into changing his gender. They were celebrating. And then the whole class got around and we celebrated and all that. And what are you doing? You ain't supposed to be teaching my child none of this shit. Teach them math, science, but all of that. You don't have a goddamn charter to teach my child about your goddamn sex life. Bitch, nobody give a fuck about your sex life. Straight or fucking gay, whatever the fuck it is. Keep that shit to yourself. But again, they have to get the children. This is how, back in the day, I tell people how they got white to be a thing in the world. Because back when they were setting up the whole system, the class system of white and black, it didn't exist before 1690. And so they came in 1690 and they came in with white privilege, and they started to give people, or Caucasian people as well, because remember back in the day it was indentured servants. There weren't any slaves until 1641, and still even after that there were a majority of indentured servants. Melanated people were indentured servants and not necessarily slaves. So you had Caucasians and melanated people mingle together all the fucking time. That's just how it was. A lot of them married, they lived together, they chilled. They was in harmony, y'all. Just in case y'all fucking don't understand, melanated people and Caucasian people lived in harmony at the beginning of America. That's just what happened. So, the lower class ones did anyway, not the higher class, but the lower class ones who were both indentured servants, they both lived in harmony. They weren't fighting each other. Then Bacon's Rebellion happened. They banned it because the Caucasians and the niggas band together to take out the upper class. The upper class comes in and said, hey, we got to break these niggas up. And so we'll just take the people who look like us and make them think we're on their side. And so we'll give them something called white privilege, right? So they go around giving certain privileges, but not really privileges to Caucasian indentured servants. You're not an indentured servant anymore. You're labor. You're something not hired labor or something like that. Contract labor. I forgot what it was, but it's something labor. That the label that they gave them instead of indentured servant. And so then they started to feel that they were better than niggas. They started to give them positions over melanated people who were indentured servants. So they started to do this, and then they started to plaster white privilege around their cities. Nobody knew what that was, especially the Caucasian people who lived in these colonies, because they called themselves by their country. They were Frenchmen, Dutchmen, shit like that. Excuse me, Englishmen. So they didn't, this white shit, they weren't with that. After a time, after about 60, 70 years, the children who grew up seeing this around town, white this, white that, you're white, 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 they grew up indoctrinated into the white language and white, and white privilege system. So they took it on because they didn't understand what the older generations knew. They didn't know that. They were only brought up in this. And so this is what they're doing with the emasculation of men, but also the indoctrination of changing your children and just confusing their minds. Because if you don't know who the fuck you are, then how the fuck can you revolt against me if you don't even know who the fuck you are now? You so busy confused with that, you definitely can't revolt against me. How the fuck you gonna revolt against me if you don't know who the fuck you are? So that's the same plan, same game book. They just replay the shit. So that's how white privilege got started. Don't let this, I'm non-binary, I'm not this, I'm not that, whoop-de-whoop bullshit start playing. Universe said, nature said you this. You got to be this in this lifetime for a reason. Learn what that reason is. This is a school. You ain't come here for you to tell the universe how you need to be. That's not how this works. You're in this position for a reason, and you need to figure out why the fuck you in this position and learn those lessons so that you can take those on to your next life, and then maybe that will be a little more conducive to how you feel and who you are in that life. But the reason, if you don't feel that you are who you are in this life, is, trust me, it's a lesson because of some shit that you bringing with you into this existence and this experience. So figure that shit out and stop trying to motherfucking take the easy road out. I want to be what I feel like. Well, goddammit, you can stay. You can. If you want to, you want to same person love and all that, you do all that. That may be part of your lesson to do all that. But for you to say nature is wrong and you going to flip and change yourself because nature fucked up, who the fuck are you to say nature fucked up? No, no. You know what? You know why you are who you are this time? Because everything that you've encompassed in all of your experiences in your existence says you need to be this now. This is the next part of your lesson. Nature didn't have shit to do with you becoming what you are in this life. You did. You did from all the goddamn past lessons and things that you had become and you didn't do and you did and all of those other lives that came before this one. This is the culmination of all of that, and that's why you are who you are now, and you need to figure out why the fuck you are who you are in this existence now so that you can probably be who the fuck you want to be in the next one. That's what that shit is about. But they're going to take the whole goddamn shit down, y'all. They're taking it down, emasculation of the man. And so the reason I brought this up, I went through a whole thing, but the reason I brought this shit up, I went on a small little teeny rant. Sorry, but the reason I brought it up, because the New York Times, they said the maternal instinct is a myth men created. Let me say that one more time. The New York Times just came out and they said maternal instinct is a myth that men created. What? Maternal instinct is a myth that men created? What? This has been around since the maternal instinct has been around since the beginning of mothers. Since a baby came through that beautiful vortex called the womb. Through that wormhole called the womb from another galaxy. There's been maternal instinct. Try and fuck with a mother's child. And I'm saying everything, there's no absolute. Some mothers, don't necessarily have a connection to their child. That's a very, very small few. But try to touch a mother's child. Boy, name any aggressive man you ever thought in your life. But you try to touch a mother's child. A mother is that times 100,000. You think you aggressive? Nigga, I don't give a fuck who you are as a man. Try to fuck with a mother's child and see how aggressive that mother is. Mothers know when their child is crying in a room with a bunch of other kids, they know their child. If that child is crying over a bunch of other kids, they be, hey, who fucking with my kid? And it can be 8, 9, 10 babies in there crying. They know they baby. But maternal instinct is a myth that men created. So they're trying to push this shit because they're trying to call, women who have babies, birthing persons. See, they're trying to flip this whole lingo system up, y'all. If they can get y'all confused down here, they can keep changing shit up here because you ain't looking up here. You worried about all of this bullshit, this whole fucked up room down here. You black, you white, you this, you that. I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm boo, I'm black, I'm a man, I'm gay, I'm a she, I'm a he, I'm a they, you doing all of that. While these niggas up there like, whoo, goddamn. Nigga, if these niggas was able to see, you worried about your goddamn junkie room. If you was able to see they goddamn fucked up room, like, nigga, if they was able to see how fucked up our shit is, and here, we be fucked. Luckily, we got them niggas fighting down there. And y'all gonna keep on fighting and talking crazy because y'all have no idea what the plan is. And again, this is just part of the plan, to emasculate the man so that revolt and revolution doesn't happen when they're flipping this whole globalization shit. Y'all got to know the globalization is the main plan, and revolt and revolution is usually started by the masculine energy of a society. And so they have to take that society down in order to quell the revolt. So mothers, are you guys gonna start stepping up and taking your place back from all of this shit? You have got to rise up and start being vocal and stop acting like, well, I don't want to be canceled because I'm talking against. No, fuck that. You ain't got to talk against nothing. Speak for you. Focus on who you are, and let the world shine a light on that. And the universe shine a light on that. If you speak about who you are, just pump up who you are. You don't have to degrade anyone else or degrade anyone else, but just pump up you. Just like I said, you don't have to shit on their movement. Just pump up your movement as far as the straight pride. Because if you're a man and you all about women, the beautiful divine loveliness that oh Lord Jesus, have mercy, Jesus. I just saw a reporter named Marilyn Parker out in New Jersey. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Marilyn Parker, you are a goddess. Let me tell you right now. If anybody know Marilyn Parker in New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, Lord Jesus, have mercy, Jesus. However, but if you a man who love beautiful women like Marilyn Parker in New Jersey, shout out to Marilyn Parker. But if you a woman who love man, you got to shout it out. If you love the masculine energy, woman and a man, if you love that energy, you got to shout it out. And if you love being a woman, you got to speak up about the shit. What's great about it? What's wonderful about being a woman? And then not have to feel you have to act like a man in a world to gain some ground and to get ahead, because men built this world. That's not how you get ahead in this world. It's the yin and yang. Men built this world for you. Women, not really for themselves. The motivation of men is women. So you trying to act masculine, try to get ahead in this world, that's not how it works. The softness against the hard, that's what balances it out. Women, you have to start taking your softness back. But that doesn't mean you're weak. Silk is one of the softest things in the world. One of the strongest, though. That is an as above, so below analogy. You can be silk, women. Softest, loveliest, softest thing in the world, but strongest, one of the strongest things ever. But you have to take that energy back. You have to fight back against this. And when they put shit out here and say that maternal instinct is a myth that men created, what the fuck? Have you seen a woman lift a car off their baby? Because their baby was about to die? No man around? Wasn't no men around? Car, look this up. This story happened back when I was a teenager. Talked about, and this probably happened a few times, but there's stories of mothers lifting cars off of their babies. Is that some shit man created? So again, we can't let them push the narrative and change the society into what they're trying to do. We can't let them do it. You got to fight back. You got to push back. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative pushback. Make positive light, put positive light on what you want to do. Positive light is always on you, what you're trying to do. It's always going to be stronger than you trying to push something negative against someone else. Because that positive energy is going to pull energy towards you. Negative energy repels. Do you get that? Positive energy draws in. That's what the feminine is. The positive energy. It's magnetic. It pulls things towards you. Negative energy, masculine, it pushes things away from you. So Again, you guys, please get the science so that we can get everything in balance like it's supposed to be. Hashtag straight pride, divine feminine, divine masculine, and that balance has to maintain. So, real quick, so I think I talked about how California, they what's your boy, what's his name? Newsom, Gavin Newsom, how he signed the law basically saying, signed the law to study racism to see if how reparations can be implemented eventually in California, right? So then he signed another law. People were all hyped on this, that he signed a law, that reclassified melanated people, right? So the bill was called SB, hold on, it's SB, hold on, I got it right here. I think it's SB 196. Oh, 189, excuse me. So California Senate Bill 189. So it basically, they were saying that it helps to reclassify melanated people so that they can start to get reparations, right? So I told you that reparations is not lawful. It's not constitutional. They can't give reparations to a certain race, excuse me, to a certain race or class based on, Constitution and also the civil rights and Title VII discrimination and all of that, right? They just can't do it lawfully with the laws that are based on that are in play. So what they had to do was kind of break it up and say, all right, we're gonna give reparations to people who are descendants of slaves that came before 1900, right? We came before if your parents were slaves before 1900, then you can get some reparations. This is the bill. This is what they want to do. This is not what's implemented yet. This is what they want to do, right? So then they had to come in and say, all right, well, because they were saying there's a difference between what they use this in their writing, foundational Black Americans. So shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He got that, pretty high with the government using the term. So foundational Black Americans, which is meaning melanated people who have been here and who are descendants of slaves and who have put the work in, as opposed to Americans or melanated Americans who just came over as immigrants, right? And so those are different people. So they wanted to classify them. So look, and so people were getting happy. So, oh man, they changed the classification in California. They starting to change. This is gonna change everything and blah 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 and this and that. So let me just read you guys, because this is why you need to learn the law. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, you're not gonna go anywhere in this society if you don't learn the law. But really quick, this you all know America, the system of American government is crumbling. If y'all don't see that, y'all tripping. You need to get ready, prepare yourself to get ready to pick up the goddamn pieces. I'm telling you, you can't do that if you don't know anything. If you don't know anything about government or law or anything, you don't have to, not saying you got to run it like they used to run it, but you need to know the principles of law and government and these things in order for you to be able to implement some things on your own, if that were to happen. I'm not saying it's going, but America stock is doing this. And so if that pops off, you need to be ready. So check this out, though. This is the law. So this is Senate Bill 189, Section 14. I want y'all to listen to this, because you have to understand and be able to read between the lines. So they said they're going to reclassify melanated people in California, right? So this is what they said. So on or after January 1st, 2024, the state controller's office, if you know what the controller is, the state controller is basically the state accountant, the bookkeeper, right? So the accountant and bookkeeper, really. So they pay all the bills and they implement taxes and and fines and not fines, but taxes and certain levies and things of that nature against certain parts of the government. So if you would work for the government and you get taxed, also that comes from the comptroller and all that type of stuff. So, or the controller. So, on or, on or after January 1st, 2024, the state controller's office, hold on. Oh, hey, so on or after January 1st, January 1st, 2024, the State Controller's Office, it authorizes the State Controller Office to the extent the State Controller's Office has completed the functionality necessary and the Department of Human Resources, when collecting demographic data as to the ancestry or ethnic origin of persons hired into state employment, shall include the following additional collection categories and tabulations for Black or African American groups, including but not limited to all of the following. So I want y'all to hear what that, everything about this law was right there in the first part. Let me read that again. So it's basically saying it's authorizing on or after January 1st, 2024, authorizing the State Controller's Office to the extent the State Controller's Office has completed the functionality necessary and the Department of Human Resources, when collecting demographic data as to the ancestry or ethnic origin of persons hired into state employment, shall include the following additional collection categories and tabulations for Black or African American groups, including but not limited to the following. So basically what they just said was, you're going to create different categories to when people get hired onto the California government. I hope y'all heard that. It says, for persons hired into state employment. This is what this law is for. It's not for citizens of California. But most people don't know that because you don't know how to read the law. This is only for melanated people who get hired into the state of California government. With that said, basically to include basically additional collection categories and tabulations. So what that means is, when you get hired to the state government, we're going to create different categories that you can adhere to or sign up to so that we can tax your ass. That's what that meant. Collection categories means to collect money from you. That means we are creating new collection categories for African Americans or whatever the foundational Black Americans or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. We'll create them different categories, but only to tax your ass. We ain't giving you shit. We are taxing you. That's what that law just said. Now, listen further. Including but not limited to all of the following. 1, African Americans who are descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States. 2, blacks. 2, blacks. Hold up. Blacks who are not descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States, including but not limited to African blacks, Caribbean blacks, and other blacks. What the fuck? Black. Wait a minute. Black? So, colors, remember, is an adjective, and a very weak adjective to explain a noun. There's many adjectives, but color is one of the weakest adjectives to explain anything. If I say, hey, Sydney, can I get that black shirt over there? What if it's 5 black shirts? Does that explain what shirt I want? If I say, yo, can I roll in the black car, in one of the black cars? Or can I roll in the black car? And you got 4 black cars, does that say which black car I want to roll in? If I say I wore my black pants to the whoop-de-whoop the other night, does that mean you know what black pants I wore? Again, it's a very weak adjective to explain a noun. But again, they just said blacks who are not descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States, including but not limited to African blacks, Caribbean blacks, and other blacks. And then it says unknown or choose not to identify. Now, I want y'all to hear this really carefully. For the purpose of this section, and this is what they break down, for the purpose of this section, African Americans, and so it's basically who are basically deciding what status you want to claim. It's saying African Americans who are descendants of persons who are enslaved in the United States means individuals who self-identify. I want y'all to hear this again. So this is explaining the definitions. African Americans who are descendants of persons who were enslaved in the United States means individuals who self-identify as black, African American, or American freedman who have at least one ancestor who was enslaved in the United States. So what that's saying is African American means any individual who self-identifies as black, or African American, or American freedman who had an ancestor who was enslaved in the United States. Self-identify is the operative shit y'all should be listening to in here. Your status with the government is self-identification. They cannot tell you who you are. What that meant is a Caucasian man, that's why they put American freedman in there. That has no goddamn color whatsoever. Because Caucasians were slaves in America. So they can't just make it all about melanated slaves, because that would be discriminatory, because there were actual Caucasian slaves in America. So they said American freedman. So that means this law ain't just for niggas. It's for anybody who's had slaves as ancestors in America, which they can't call white motherfuckers, Caucasian people, blacks, and this and that. So they gave them American freedman. Check this out. 2, African blacks means individuals who self-identify as black and who either immigrated directly from Africa to the United States, or who are descendants of such a person and who have no ancestors who were enslaved in the United States. That's African blacks. So anybody who immigrated over here, and y'all don't got no niggas who was slaves, no ancestors who were slaves. American freedmen means persons who gained freedom from slavery in the United States or their descendants. Does that say anything about melanated black or anything? Any color on that? That means Caucasians. They had to throw that in there. Just so y'all are aware. So again, then it got this. Caribbean blacks means individuals who self-identify as black and who either left Africa for a Caribbean country beginning or before immigrating to the United States, or who are descendants of such a person and who have no ancestors who were enslaved in the United States. That's Caribbean blacks. Then other blacks means individuals who self-identify as black. Do you keep seeing the goddamn theme here? Who self-identify? That means, nigga, I can't do nothing to you until you tell me how to do it to you first. Self-identification, people. So if you walking around here and you are sub in the goddamn status game, that's on you, because you wouldn't told the goddamn government that you was a nigga descendant from slaves and all this and that, instead of telling them who you actually are, that you're an aboriginal and that this is your land and you don't want reparations. Well, actually, as an aboriginal, you do want reparations, because reparations means to be returned to one's own land. But you also want restitution. You want to be restored to a place where you were. Nigga, I want to be put right back at the level where I was, nigga, before you start fucking off my shit. Period. So then, other blacks means individuals individuals who self-identify as black and who either left Africa to a country not in the Caribbean before immigrating to the United States, or who are descendants of such a person and who have no ancestors who were enslaved in the United States. Now, do y'all see? This is a game of status naming, changing status. It's all a damn, it's a straight game. What do you call yourself? That's how you get treated by the government. And they've told you over and over and over and over again. Those of you who self-identify as black, meaning, nigga, I can't even take you down unless you tell me that you that low in the first place. Black is not a thing. It's not a nation. It has no substance. It's not real. It only describes how something looks. Maybe. Because black is not even anything that you see with color. It means the color is not in that object. It means that object is reflecting that color. That's why when you see something and it says color in law means the semblance without the actual substance. Because anyone who knows in science, just base level science, knows that anything that you see with color is being reflected. That object is reflecting that color. It is not holding that color. It is reflecting it back into your eye. So if you want to identify as something that's not real, that's on you. And they will place you where the fuck they want you. Y'all saw it. They got different categories. American freedmen, Caribbean blacks, other blacks, African Americans who self-identify as black. Y'all see that? But this is only for the people who work in the government. And then, real quick, for you people on the slavery side of the game, and y'all be talking about slavery and how slavery was different for white people and this and that, and y'all's chattel slavery was different. Here, y'all done made me break out this book. Y'all done made me bust this shit out on y'all niggas. Because I'm tired of you arguing with you niggas because y'all think chattel slavery was some type of institution when it was not. Let me read what the word chattel means legally to you niggas. Chattel, an article of personal property. Any species of property not amounting to a freehold in free land. Meaning anything that's not land would be considered chattel. Now, listen again, listen more. A thing personal and movable. Let me read that again. A thing personal and movable. Right? Let's keep on moving. Things which in law are deemed personal property, they are divisible into chattels real and chattels personal. What are those? Let's look that up. Let's see. The term chattels is a more comprehensive one than goods, as it includes animate as well as inanimate property, right? So let's look up personal. Chattels real just means land. We just saw that, right? So chattels real means land, right? Land owned property. Personal chattels. Let's look what that means. Movable things. Meaning, hey, I can take this from here to there. That's all chattel means. Again, personal chattels. Let's look back. It said a thing, let's break it down. Personal chattels are into chattels real and chattels personal. Personal chattels are movable things. So now, all y'all niggas sitting up here talking about chattel slavery was this and chattel slavery, all that meant was I can take my nigga from Missouri to California. That's it. In California, slavery wasn't legal. However, you could keep a slave in California if you promised to take him out in a certain amount of time. But that's all it meant. I could take my slave from Arkansas to Minnesota, or from Dred Scott. The perfect example of that is Dred Scott. Dred Scott's owner, before how Dred Scott case started was the owner took Dred Scott around from state to state as a slave, as his personal slave. Like, yo, nigga, wherever we go, you my slave. But when he took him to the northern states, the slaves in those northern spots, they was free. They were like, they went to they went to Dred Scott like, hey my nigga, you still a slave, nigga? The fuck you doing, nigga? We free up here, nigga. You better get your bitch ass on up here with us. nigga, shit. We got a restaurant, we got all kind of shit, nigga. You still fucking around with that bitch ass white motherfucker? Nigga, you better get the fuck on out of here. That's what happened. And so he was like, what? Y'all niggas is free? Shit. Nigga, and he went and he filed a lawsuit. So he filed a suit against the slavery, right? So chattel slavery, y'all. That's all chattel. That's all the word chattel means. So y'all can get off the goddamn chattel slavery was worse than this slavery and that type of slavery. Nigga, being a slave of anybody, not having your freedom is fucked up for any way around. All right. So then, I don't know if you guys saw the new space, new Space Force. So, you know, America has Space Force, right? America has the Space Force. But then we have different parts of Space Force. So there's different groups or different departments of Space Force. So they just created one called the Delta. So the new space department they just created is called Space Delta 18. All right, Space Delta 18. I want y'all to just hear that. Space Delta 18. And first of all, 18 is 9. We all know what the number 9. That's the that's the number that vibrates with melanated people. If y'all don't know, y'all better start vibrating to the number 9. And shout out to Kobe Bean Bryant. He was a 999. Woo! Go to the Gematria calendar and type in Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant was a 999. That's why he was God. But y'all better start vibrating to the 9. So it's called Space Delta 9. That's the new department of the Space Force. And the logo is an Egyptian, a Kemetan brother. It's a brother with the Uraeus, the cobra on the forehead over the planet. It's like the planet is like below him, and then he's sitting on top of the planet with the Namuz. The Namuz, you guys, is the head covering that the Egyptians used to use. So he has his Namuz on, and he had, first of all, nigga look like Ice Cube. Nigga look like Ice Cube, straight up. Go look at this dude. First time I saw that, nigga, what they doing with Cube? In the Space Delta, the Space Force. So, again, what does that tell me? It might be some niggas out here that they trying to communicate to. Out there. We already know the Anunnaki created people or the humans in their image. So we already know what they look like on the thing. So, what are they trying to communicate with Space Delta 18? Hey, we cool, y'all. Peace, my niggas. Solid, my brother, solid. They trying to, don't come fucking with us. So that's just crazy right now. And then you see all of this becomes a part of all of the stuff that's going down right now with the UFOs or UAPs or whatever the hell they want to call it, because they want to flip it up so that you don't know that UAPs and UFOs are the same thing. You stop investigating. But they're trying to communicate to somebody out there in space with that damn and the funny thing, the whole thing is on the symbol that is on this giant isosceles triangle that comes up like that, almost like an A, but it looks like the Starfleet from Star Trek. If y'all notice, if y'all go watch Star Trek, you see the Starfleet symbol that they use when they push right here, LaForge, Mr. LaForge, and he puts his Mr. LaForge. So it looks just like the Star Trek symbol, but with a brother and a Kemetan brother. And I mean here, brother, he got the high cheekbones. Fat man, it's obviously not a Caucasian person. It's obviously not a Caucasian person. So what they trying to communicate? And then They trying to do that right as NASA saying they supposed to go to space. Go back to the moon. Their flight to the moon got canceled. Their flight to the moon got canceled. So, hey. Flight to the moon got canceled, right? So, why did that happen? Remember, they said they haven't been back to the moon since they went there the first time in the 60s. And they said, well, we haven't been back because we haven't had the technology. Wait a minute. You motherfuckers ain't had the technology? You haven't advanced on the technology that you had in 1960 something? And it's fucking 50 something years later and you ain't advanced in the technology to be able to go back? Get the fuck out of here. They are so full of shit. So I don't know if y'all saw the video. Your boy Stanley Kubrick, he came out a week before he died. He's doing an interview a week before he died. He said he filmed the whole shit. That was the greatest film he ever created, and he felt awesome and terrible about it at the same time. Y'all go pull this video up. Stanley Kubrick. He's sitting back in his chair in a dark ass room with a light on him, and the dude is asking him questions. And this is 1 week before he died. He said, yeah, I filmed the moon landing. And a week later, this nigga's dead. And that was also 3 months before they released Eyes Wide Shut, showing the fuck game, the sexual cult of the elite. So wait a minute, you got a movie coming out called Eyes Wide Shut, showing how we get down behind closed doors in the dark. You trying to see that shit? You trying to show that shit? And then you just crazily, nigga, you go on a goddamn video and tell this fool that you filmed the goddamn moon landing? And then he said he told a bunch of niggas about it. He told Steven Spielberg about it. He told a few other directors back in the day. He said they knew, and they all said they would have did it too. Stanley Kubrick said the directors that he told said if the government had came to them with the same shit, they would have done it too. And he's like, he said it's my masterpiece, but I can't tell anybody what a masterpiece it was. Stanley Kubrick, y'all. So now the NASA is trying to go back to the moon, they say. So apparently Saturday, what's today? So the day after tomorrow, they say they're supposed to go back. They were supposed to go a few days ago. The flight got canceled for some reason. Now Saturday, they're supposed to be going back. Now, the reason they say don't go back to the moon because they're already up there. There's bases they already have on the moon. There's that face, not the face, that's on Mars, but there's a scientist called Richard Hoagland who shows in his videos, he showed that there was something that NASA released a long time ago that showed structures on the dark side of the moon. Crystal structures, statues, and all kind of shit. So this is Richard Hoagland. Dr. Richard Hoagland. I think that's how he spells H-O-G-L-A-N-D. I think that's how he spells it. Richard Hoagland. He talks about, his whole thing is about NASA and all that. He deciphers NASA pictures and space pictures and shit. So he talked about how there's bases on the moon already, which is why they never went back. They already there. They told us they ain't went back, but they've been there since that time. So, they tell us, hey, we can't go back. We just gonna see, how much they with the fuckery. But there were structures up there when Richard Hoagland found. He said they were ancient structures up there. Those structures that they had up there weren't created by man. They were ancient structures, temples and shit that he said that he mapped out, that you can map out. And so these weren't created obviously by humans, and they didn't want nobody seeing that. So so that's why they ain't been back to the moon, because they don't want nobody seeing what the fuck is up there on the moon. And then real quick, the last thing, the vibranium video that I put out, I hope y'all watched that. I put it out a while ago, but you know, a lot of videos get shadow banned on here. YouTube had taken the video and hid the video where I couldn't even find it mostly on my own channel. Excuse me, until I had to, I had to really go deep dive and search for it. And so so that's why I pulled it off and then put it back so that you guys can see it, because I did that video about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. So a lot of y'all like the video breaking down the vibranium, which is your melanin, and a lot of people were talking about just expecting me apparently to go deep into some melanin type of stuff. So that video was just to show you about the melanin research that's being done about you. I wasn't trying to go into the 50 million different aspects about melanin. However, y'all need to know. So this is the melanin. This is the melanin books. These are smaller. These are smaller than what you get, because I did smaller. These are smaller print. But let me show you. These are the 2 melanin books, part 1 and part 2. I've had these over 20 years. Now, do y'all see these? I want y'all to see. I don't know if y'all can see how much I've read these whole. Do y'all see this? I have read these whole thing multiple times without anybody having to explain melanin to me. People, this is 114 years of melanin research. I've gone through these books multiple times, all the way through. Not reading, dipping around from subject to subject, from page to page. No, I done read this whole motherfucker. And I put this together myself. This is not the book you get. The book I give you guys, I actually bought from the organization itself. I copied this from a website. From the website, put it together myself, and studied this whole goddamn thing. So all y'all want to sit up here and y'all and talk about melanin research and all this and that, trust me. I've been into this since 1997. This is the first thing I read on melanin. Right here. In this book, this talks about how ankhs are sound devices. They're sound devices for different things. You can levitate things with ankhs, depending on the different shape of the ankh. You can levitate things with it. You can turn them into lasers, all different types of stuff. This is an ill book. This is the ankh, African Origins of Electromagnetism. Y'all need to see this right here. If y'all read, check this book out. This book is ill. This is one of the very first books I ever read when I started getting conscious, all the way back in 97. So in this book, it has a section on melanin that actually got me on my melanin journey. So where is it? So this got me started on my melanin journey. This part right here, if y'all can see that. This is a very little small section, but it breaks down a lot of stuff or some of the science that's in the melanin book. Obviously, it's nowhere near as big as that, so you're not going to get all of it. But it breaks down how melanin worked with your electromagnetism in Kemet in order to power things. So how they would use the electromagnetic field of the earth to flow over their melanin, because your melanin has copper, and that allows the electromagnetic energy to flow over your body without killing you, without frying you, and stuff like that. So that's the first book that I jumped on. So, but I've studied all the people that deal with melanin, from Dr. Layla Africa to Dr. Richard King. You guys want to get a Melanin, a Key to Freedom. Dr. Ann Brown. I have her in the Face of the Dragon video in the melanin section. So y'all shout out to Dr. Ann Brown. And also somebody you probably don't know about. This is Dr. Carol Barnes. You guys go look up videos from Dr. Carol Barnes. Dr. Carol Barnes is ill cat. He broke down in one of his videos of how your melanin uses sound to power it. Like you can be in the complete darkness, and if you stomp on the ground, your melanin absorbs that energy and can use it to power yourself. Like vibranium. It can absorb all frequencies and energy. So you can go, these are things that help. These are people who will help you from our culture to help you explain melanin, as best as you can. But you're gonna really learn about melanin from getting the Great Book of Melanin research. This is all of the research that has been done from all of the countries since the beginning, since they've been studying melanin. So this is what you want to you want to combine both of those things. You don't want to just go one thing. You want to get the full science and then get somebody explaining it to you in your language as well. So all of those doctors, as well as Frances Cress Welding, but she doesn't go as deep or as deep as all those other doctors, but especially Dr. Carol Barnes. Dr. Carol Barnes is one of the he's one of the ones who was in the laboratory looking at melanin in the science, doing the science, as well as Dr. Ann Brown. So you can check them out. But again, you guys, this is what we really need to be getting on. We need to be getting on this law stuff. Y'all already know. So if you guys, you're trying to get away from those mandates that they're trying to have coming for you, bam, right here, the adverse effects liability lets them know how they're liable for compensation. If they try to force you to get that cupcake, they're liable for every second that the cupcake stays in your system. So however long that is, they got to pay you. However, this says that they cannot force you under duress to take a cupcake that's been proven to have adverse effects. If they do, they can be liable. So that's what this is right here. Again, this comes with the notice. These two things come together, but it comes, the best thing that it comes with is the P.F. Heiser Bakery report, their own report that they use. Oops, oh, sorry. So the P.F. Heiser Bakery report. So again, and then the back, it has these 3 pages in the back. 1, 2, can y'all see all of that? 3, you see all of that? All of that writing right there? All of these things are adverse effects that the P.F. Heiser Bakery found when they tested the cupcake, when they did their own test on the cupcake. And they didn't report most of this stuff. So this is your major weapon. So they want you to take, oh, who was that? Bradford? Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. Man, y'all amazing. Appreciate you guys. This is right here. This is your smoking gun. They can't say anything if you give the own report of the people of the cupcake that they want you to take. If you give them their own report, what they gonna say? Well, it's been proven effective by, what do you mean it's been proven effective? This is the report of the people who make the cupcake. It's been proven effective by who? Because again, anything that the Cat.Dog.Cat approves, they don't do the test for it. The company does the test and they submit their own report. They submit their report to the FDA, and then the FDA reads their report by the agency who's submitting it for their product, and the FDA reads it and says, oh, well, this report looks pretty good. You seem like you did a thorough job. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's usually what happens. So Pfizer would have had to submit something like this to the Cat.Dog.Cat, but they left it out. They left it out. And so this shows you right here. So, but they had to release it when the federal government said that they had to release 10,000 pages a month on the 1st of every month. So that's when this came out. And so again, in here, it has that as well, that the cupcake that was approved, most people don't even know this. The cupcake that the FDA approved is not even the cupcake that they're using to pump you up. Those are 2 different things. The FDA approved one thing, and then the P.F. Heiser Bakery switched it when it came time to administer it. And they said, well, it's like the same thing. It's based or it's built off the same thing. They said basically the 2 principles, or the principle of this V and this V, are basically just alike. So we can kind of say that this one is similar, so that's how we... No, nigga! You did tests for one thing and submitted a report for one thing, but then you giving me a totally different thing, nigga? That we don't know what's in that, but just because you said it's like the first cupcake, well, it ain't exactly tofu and quinoa, but it's barley and quinoa. Not tofu and quinoa, but barley. Like, nigga, I ain't want barley. Oatmeal. How about oatmeal then? Oatmeal and tofu. Like, they just switching up ingredients. No. So that states that in the report. It says that in this adverse liability report, it says here that the cupcake that was approved is not the cupcake being used in the emergency authorization, use authorization. So again, you got many weapons right here that you can use. And then this is the religious one that says that that you are against using cupcakes that have aborted fetal tissue that are used in their creation. So right here, if you are pro-life, this is your best bet right here, because it has been proven that it has that inside the cupcake, which is why those cats at North Shore University won $10 million lawsuit or settlement. It was a settlement because they knew they were gonna have to go in there, and they would probably have to give $100 million if it came out that, you know, if they did it in court, that, you know, if it became precedent. So they pulled out and just gave them $10 million. So we got that right there. You guys can order that with the Know Your Rights at the knowyourrightsfoundation.org. You get it for free. Well, you get the package for free. The whole police stop law package for free. That's the cards. This right here. This is what you keep in your car. You say, I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. We doing it, y'all. We 1 year in the game. We're bigger, way bigger than we even thought that we can get right now. People are really taking hold to learning their law. Don't get left behind. Get your package right here. This is what you keep in your car. You say, I don't answer questions, po-po. Don't even ask me, nigga. No, I'm just kidding. But you pick this in your car. I don't answer questions right here. This tells a police officer what your rights are and what will happen to them if they violate those constitutional rights. This tells them they lose that qualified immunity if you get them on camera, alerting them that they're in danger of violating your constitutional rights, and then they do it on camera. Boom, they lose that qualified immunity. Then right here, this is the notice that gives all of the laws that break that off, the Supreme Court cases that state how they lose that qualified immunity if they knowingly violate your rights. So right here, you keep those three things in the car. You say, I don't answer questions. Then the big book that teaches you everything you need to know about traffic stops and police stops, or traffic stops and Terry stops, which are police stops on foot, which is how they come up on many of us on foot. And they stop you. They ask you, can I get your ID? Hey, hold on a second. Let me talk to you for a second. You got any ID on you? How many of y'all know that's unlawful for them just to do that? You got any ID on you? Now, what they'll say is, it's consensual. Because what you're supposed to say is, are you detaining me? Police officer comes up and say, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, you got any ID on you? If you say, oh, well, you reach in your pocket and you hand it to the police officer, that's called tacit consent. We just talked about it. You're supposed to say, am I being detained? Because if you're not being detained, you don't have to talk to the police officer. You don't have to give him anything. But then if he says, yeah, you're being detained, well, what crime do you suspect me of having committed, in the middle of committing, or about to commit? And they have to articulate that crime to you. Not be like, well, you look suspicious. Suspicion is not a crime, officer. Well, you could be doing something. Could be is not doing. You don't have to talk to an officer unless they have reasonable suspicion that you have committed a crime or about to commit a crime, or you're in the middle of committing a crime. So you got to know those things. These things, I'm telling you, if you watch these videos of people pushing back against these police officers who know their rights, when someone says that, as soon as they step up, it's a different game. And people are starting to learn that, which is why we're starting to flip the system. Don't get left behind. Get your information as well. If you're not one to read, if you're not a reader, then we put the main points right here in the cliff notes, the cards, right? So you got police stop flashcards number 1, number 2, and then you got your law and government. Because again, you need to know the government if you're gonna flip it in your favor. So these are the cliff notes, the flashcards. Sit down with your children, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes every other day, and get them this information. Empower them. We're going into the next age. Empower this next generation. We skipped the ball on one of these generations. I'm sorry. The new millennial niggas, we skipped the ball on you little skinny jean wearing non-binary motherfuckers. We skipped the ball on you niggas. However, we can get a lot of them in here. Let's get it, people. And again, all of that comes when the Pope will really start messing with you. Get back at him, get that public official bond. This is or the police insurance. They have bonds or insurance, which in every state they have to have, so that they don't, all the liability of them fucking up doesn't come back on the city or the state. So they have to have a bond or insurance in order to alleviate that liability. So you can place a claim on that bond if they violate your constitutional rights, because the bond is tied to their oath to the Constitution. So as soon as they violate your constitutional rights, boom, you got it. All right. So that right here just tells you the laws on how to do that in your state, or how to go look those laws up. And so those laws will tell you how to place a claim on their bond or their insurance. So that's this right here. This is really how you get at them. Then you sue them later. You get at them first. You do this. You get the money first. All right. You get money from this first. This can happen within the first couple of weeks. You can get the bond money. But then a lawsuit can take 2 years. So this is the first thing you do when they violate your rights. Then you go place a lawsuit. And so boom, boom, boom. You got it. You got it covered on both ends. But you get digital copies of all of that when you order the Great Book of Melanin Research. I give you all of that for free when you order the Great Book of Melanin Research. You don't get the vaccine cards. They're not on my website. You got to go to knowyourrightsfoundation.org to order the exemption cards. But for the weekend, it's today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to order the liability card, I will place the liability card, not both of them, just this one with the Cat.Dog.Cat adverse effects. This is the liability, and the one that comes with the P.F. Heiser Bakery. I will place this in the Police Stop Law package that you get for free if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, the hard copy, in the next 4 days. That's only for this weekend. So I did this last time. I'm not doing it again. If y'all order on Monday, I'm not giving it to you. So do not order at 12:55 on Monday morning. You're not getting it. If your order is not in by 11:59 Sunday night, you will not be getting this card. So don't email me and text me, because some of y'all did that. Oh, did I get it? Did I make it? No. You listen to this damn broadcast. I'm saying to you right now, it is only for today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. After Sunday, do not ask me if you get this in the package, because you do not. I'm telling you right now, you will not get it. So again, get over there. Support, everybody. We appreciate you guys. I'm about to get out of here. It is hot as hell. Like I just told y'all, it is hot as hell right now. I've been talking for a long time, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that super chat. Love you guys, man. And I'm going to holler at y'all in a minute. Deuces.